2019 Lopatcong Township meeting to order. I would ask that everyone bow their heads for a moment of prayer. Pledge of allegiance. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Adequate notice of this meeting has been provided indicating the time and place of the meeting in accordance with Chapter 231 of the Public Laws of 1975 by advertising a notice in the Star Gazette and the Express Times and by posting a copy on the bulletin board in the municipal building. Roll call, please.
Yes, Councilman Belcaro.
Here.
Councilman Polito.
Here.
Councilman Wright.
Here.
Council President Pryor.
Here.
Mayor Hendrick.
Here. Do we need a motion to come out of executive session?
Motion. Second.
Second, Katrina?
Council was in executive session for approximately 1 hour, and the topics of discussion are exactly as listed on the agenda 1 through 7. The meeting minutes from executive session will be available at such time as the need for confidentiality no longer exists. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Do you have a public comment on agenda items only? John?
This is very simple questions. I didn't see it on the earlier agenda. My name is John Betts. I'm over on Red School Lane, Brakely Gardens. I see number 7, there's 2019 fall cleanup. Are you going to speak about that all today?
We need to pick a date for that yet. Have we done
I'll
that?
speak about it.
Okay.
Yep.
All right. Thanks, sir.
Before I get started tonight, our board president, Bob McFarland, is here. So, Bob, you're on.
Thank you, Mayor.
Good evening. As president of the Lopatcong Board of Education, I would like to introduce to the township our new superintendent of the Lopatcong School District, Dr. Deborah McCora. Deb has been a superintendent for the last 8 years, as well as a principal and a teacher. We at the Board of Education are so excited about what Deb will bring to our district, and we're sure that she will lead us in a positive direction and for our future. So please join me in welcoming Deb McCora here officially to the Township of Lopatcong. Deb, would you like to come up and say a couple of words?
Very excited to be here. I have to say I've gotten a warm welcome from everyone in the school. I get a little lost in town, but I've moved closer, so when I get lost, I hope you'll point me in the right direction, and I'm excited to work with all of you and everyone here. We hopefully have a lot of public at our meetings and as part of all of our projects and programs that we will be doing in the future, and I'm open to great ideas. So, thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
And good luck.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Take care of those little Panthers, please.
Oh, I will.
So. All right, under old business, number 1, the minutes of the executive and regular sessions for July the 3rd. Everyone had a chance to go over. Any comments or questions? Get a motion?
Motion.
Second.
Beth?
Yes, sir. Councilman Belcaro.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Councilman Wright.
Yes.
Council President Pryor.
Yes.
Mayor Hendrick.
Yes. Under new business, ordinance number 19-13, first reading of an ordinance fixing the salaries, retainers, and wage rates of certain employees. That basically was the cops, correct?
And it's just a couple of our employees that are, the range is outdated,
Okay,
such as the tax collector and the court administrator.
okay.
And they are new hires, correct?
Yep.
They were.
And these are just ranges, they're not, you set by resolution.
Correct.
Later, the actual salaries.
All right,
I'll make that motion.
Second.
Councilman Belcaro.
Yes.
Councilman Polito.
Yes.
Councilman Wright.
Yes.
Council President Pryor.
Yes.
Mayor Hendrick.
yes. Number 2 is approval of Lopatcong Competitive Swimmer Development Program as an addition to the Lopatcong Swim Lesson Program at the Lopatcong Pool.
I asked Beth to explain it.
Yeah. This was-
Okay, well, in Lopatcong, we do have a swim lesson program that we've always run. last year, we were fortunate to get our swim team coach who got his water safety license, and we started to begin to process, train our own lifeguard through the Red Cross training program. And we are now able to offer the swim lessons through the Red Cross as well. So this is a new level coming out of the swim team. They're competitive, you know, with the area teams, and so now we're able to offer that competitive level of lessons and instruction to college-aged children, and really anybody from any swim team are offering it. So
And as I understand it, he's going to work for the same salary as the other things.
that's correct.
We charge a little more, we make a few bucks.
That's correct.
If they're not a member, maybe it encourages them to join.
It's a win-win.
Yeah, so I think it...
When does he actually run this program? After hours?
Yes. Mhm.
Okay.
After his hours, so it's during, you know, our public, open to the public,
Okay, other
you
than,
know, between 12 and 8. Sometimes he does it in the morning when he's done with his, he's also the coach for the swim team. So.
my question basically, is he going to be tying up any part of the pool while we're open to the public?
Very minimal.
Okay. All right.
Usually it has one lesson at a time, it lasts a half an hour.
And the groups are either individuals or small, right?
Yeah, it's usually individuals.
All right.
I'm prepared to make that motion.
Okay.
So
Do I have a
I'll make
second?
that motion.
Second.
And I'll roll call that. Councilman Valcara?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Menducci?
Yes. Number 3 is a resolution number 19-244 to authorize the township to enter into a cooperative pricing agreement with the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey.
Again,
obviously
Beth,
co-op.
if we get a quick explanation?
Well, again, so the township participates in many co-ops, and this is a new one for us. We're looking at our records and digitizing those that are permanent records in the town. We're, you know, at our limit for housing them. And so in order to, you know, be able to take, you know, I guess, access this company who will provide these services, we don't have to go out to bid. The co-op does all that for us, and, you know, we just have to be able to join the co-op and then also sign the agreement. And then we can move forward under that contract that they have already bid out and priced.
Is there a fee for the co-op, Beth?
No, there's no fee.
Oh, good.
Wow. Okay. All right, have a motion?
Motion.
I'll second that.
Councilman Valcara?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Menducci?
Yes. Number 4 is to approve Lopatcong enter into the cooperative pricing system agreement with the Educational Services Commission of New Jersey.
Simply said.
Same.
Yeah,
thing.
Okay.
resolution that says we're going to join it, and
All
then we
right.
have to actually sign the agreement.
Okay.
Make the motion.
Have a second?
Second.
Okay. Councilman Valcara?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Menducci?
Yes. Number 5 is to approve proposal from ACCU.
Mayor,
Go ahead.
I'd suggest we can take 5 and 6 together, if you want, save the little time.
Sure. Approve proposal from ACCU scan for the preparation, scanning, and digitally storing 30 board of adjustment records at an estimated amount of $10,605. Required funds are available. And number 6 is for $5,300 to the same company for 2 licenses to access the database. And again, the funds are available. So 5 and 6 need a motion.
Yeah, Beth went over this with me. The first part is an estimate, and I think it's a generous estimate. I think we'll be within that. Second one is probably closer. I really only had one question. We're doing all this data, and I wanted to make sure if we, in the future, we went to another company, the data would be transferred. It's PDF files, it transfers. Everybody has the same question, and it's all transferable, so I have no concerns.
Anyone else? Motion on 5 and 6?
I'll make that motion.
So second?
Okay. Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Nangucci?
Yes. Number 7, fall cleanup.
Okay, so every year we have fall cleanup.
Yep.
This year no different. I contacted, our fire chief, and I always ask him, which is the best date, the first Saturday in September or the first Saturday in October? He said that either one would work. So my next step is to go out and get a quote for, the cleanup. And I always contact LMR. They provided me, right away with a quote. And I haven't been able to reach anyone at Raritan Valley Disposal until today. The guy finally called me back. But he won't have a quote ready until probably about another week and a half. So I would like to be able to, get this thing moving, not wait till the September meeting by selecting the best quote.
So I think we've had both in the past, have we not?
Yes, we have.
Okay. I don't think we had a problem with either outfit,
Neither outfit with company.
so we will.
Do we have an estimate, Beth?
Well,
Well, you don't want to give the quote out. I
Yeah.
get it. All right.
So she would like you
I was
to
just gonna
approve it
authorize her.
no higher than the current quote she has, and then if you get a better one,
Generically like that, right?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, okay.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Nangucci?
Yes, under the consent agenda. Gentlemen, do we want to pull anything out of there? Hearing none and seeing none, do I have a motion to approve? Motion.
Second.
Councilman Belcarra?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Nangucci?
Yes. Council reports, Mr. Polito.
Thank you, Mayor. The townwide yard sale to benefit the fire department is scheduled for September 14th. It will be any resident able to participate, and also it's at $10, which would be the cost for the permit if they were going to have their own yard sale. And also, last year, there was some confusion as to table rentals. We want residents from apartments and condos to be able to participate. So last year, I wanted to have them rent space. By renting a table, they would have their sale at the fire department. However, some people got confused and thought they could rent the table and just bring the table to their house. But we're not going to be doing that this year. And the flyer and application does explain that, and they will be available on the website and Facebook page this week. And also, we'll have some applications here. And that's it.
Anything else? Mr. O'Hara?
Yes, I just have a report on, has anyone here heard, and I'm sure some of you, spotted lanternfly? Anybody hear that?
Lanternfly?
Yeah.
Spotted lanternfly. Well, in Pennsylvania, there's 13 counties under quarantine currently. And it's here in Warren County and Hunterdon County. I have one here that was on my neighbor's patio door in Country Hills. So it's in my development. So this bug here is very destructive. It's from China. It doesn't bite or sting. It's a beautiful bug, but it's very destructive. It will damage and destroy timber and ornamental industries and the plants in your backyards. When you spot these things, you have to kill it. You got to scrape the eggs that they plant on the trees. I will pass this around, if you could pass around. This is a dead one. This is where you get to see it firsthand. And that's the only thing you can do with this, is you have to kill it and also report it. I'd like to have it posted on our website, Lopatcong Township website.
It's already there.
It's already there, and we look into the county, but at 13 counties, I was in a music fest on Sunday, and I came across a tree that's fully infested with it. I couldn't believe it. It's amazing. So if you are in Pennsylvania, you park under a tree, check your car, because it will travel back with you. That's just means of transportation. Check everything in the yard, grills, anything like that, and just kill it, because it will wreak havoc. It's wreaking havoc right now in Pennsylvania, right across the river, and it's here. Okay?
So what are you spraying with?
Well, it doesn't say what it sprays with. You know, I don't know of any chemical that can kill it, because if this was a full tree that was fully infested with it, I don't know how you would control it. I don't have the answer to that. I'm not the expert at that.
No, I'm saying there's Pennsylvania spraying for it. I was just wondering what.
They are spraying for it?
I don't know if they are. You know, but
I'm sure there'll be something at some point, just like with, I mean, the gypsy moth was horrible a few years back, but
Yeah.
seem to have that under control, so.
So, you know, I know, speaking to Brian in Department of Public Works, Brian, you see them on the trees
Yeah, they're all over.
in Lopat?
Yeah.
Oh, there we go. So, when you see them, kill them. Every chance you can. Because one of them that lays eggs, there are hundreds of eggs, just by one bug. Okay? That's my report.
All right, very good, thank you. Mr. Wright?
The only thing I had, I think you're gonna bring up for the police department.
Yep,
Otherwise, I don't have anything.
okay. Mr. Pryor?
Yeah, I have three things. Councilman Wright is the liaison in the police department, but these are of a congratulatory nature, so I don't mean to step on your toes here, but I'd like to congratulate the chief on a successful national night out last night. For those of you who don't know what it is, it's a kind of a upscale meet and greet among first responders. They have equipment on display. You get to meet a lot of our volunteers and officers. They discuss safety issues. There's free food. There was a band. The equipment is there. I was fascinated by how the equipment's all packed on the fire trucks. But I think the most popular thing, the kids just gathered around the squad cars, and they got to sit in the front seat, and you know they
Press some buttons.
Yeah, press some buttons. It was pretty cool. So, congratulations on a nice affair. And before I leave that, I really should have read this last meeting, but I was in a hurry. I left it on the kitchen table and didn't get read. It's to me, and it's from Greg Troxel, Superintendent of Schools at the Phillipsburg School District. President Pryor, that sounds pretty good. On behalf of the entire Phillipsburg School District, I want to thank the Lopatcong Township Police Department once again for another great school year. For those of you who don't know, we have resource officers there, and we perform a lot of duties there. And Superintendent Troxel goes on. The care and level of professionalism that Chief Garcia and his team provides to PSD and Phillipsburg High School is truly second to none. Please know that all of their effort did not go unnoticed. Greg Troxel, Superintendent of Schools. So another job well done.
Thank you very much, appreciate it.
Now I got something a little sillier, I guess, I don't know. Last meeting, Councilman Wright discussed a number of complaints. People came in and they were disturbed with people not taking care of their property, not mowing lawns and so on. Those of you who know me, I'm in Key City most mornings, and a lady came up to me the other day. She says, "You got something to do with the township, don't you?" I said, "Yeah." Start complaining about her neighbor not cutting the grass. Well, we have a protocol. We have the zoning officer go out. And I noticed with our tax bills, solutions to stormwater pollution, we are obligated to send that out, to distribute it. We do it with our tax bills. And it says, as a resident, you can do these easy things. It says, maintain a small lawn and keep the rest of your property or yard in a natural state with trees and native vegetation that requires little or no fertilizer. So, I don't know, we're gonna have to figure out how to handle those two conflicting requirements. This isn't a requirement, it's guidance as far as I'm concerned, our code governs, but
I think the way your code works is it works on health and safety, so the zoning officer makes determinations because high grass out on Belvedere Road may be very different than high grass in a densely populated area. So they look at, because if it gets dry and then it catches on fire, like will it set another house on fire, as opposed to if you're in a big field full of, the risk. And
What
so
if you
it's based on health and
live in
safety.
country hills and you just decide not to cut your grass?
Those houses are pretty close together. And then it also goes to animals, and so it's left to a health and safety standard that the zoning officer would make.
Yeah, actually, our planning board chair, Gary Van Vliet, brought it to my attention, and I don't know, it's the way things work, I guess. So, just bring that to everybody else's attention, and we'll deal with it on a safety issue, right?
Cut your grass.
Yeah,
Yeah, please. That's it?
that's it.
Okay, the first thing I need to do tonight is to have a motion to allow the chief to start the hiring process for a new officer. We had an officer leave us and go over to Phillipsburg, so,
I'll make that motion, we allow the chief to start process.
have a second?
Second.
Roll call, please.
Councilman Del Caro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Menounos?
Yes. Most of you should have received your tax bills right now. Pretty sneaky, the mayor put his letter in there along with the tax bill, but I did it so that we wouldn't be paying postage twice. It's something I'm obligated to do. If you have any questions on it, obviously, I'll make myself available to answer them. The tax collector's office has been the most challenging part of my job so far. We will make everybody whole, as I've said time and time again. I passed that letter out back in, I believe it was June of 18, and then this August. So it's very annoying for those of you who had the problem with the tax collector's office. That is not the fault of Danielle or anybody that's here now. We do have a forensic auditor that we're employing to try and straighten things out, and everybody who has a problem will be made whole. So bear with us. I know it's been well over a year now, and it's amazing that one person can upset the apple cart, but that's exactly what's happened. And I would like to piggyback on what Joe said. I was also at National Night Out last night. It's one of the better events, one of the events that I enjoy, because it's just a very relaxed atmosphere. And while we have our cops, and they all have two eyes, as many eyes as we can put out there in the public can certainly help them out, and that's really what I want to do. So your taxes, overall, if you're not happy, I'm of the opinion that you should be. We were very prudent in our budget. The freeholders were very prudent in their budget, as was our school board. So I can only speak for 801 Belvedere Road, that's my residence. My taxes total went up $36 for the year, so that works out to $3 a month, I think. I'll just cut a cup of coffee out, that's all, to pay for that. So I don't hear anybody complaining, which is good. I don't hear anything about our cops. That's good. All I hear is positive. So I don't want you. Somebody asked me how it was going last night. I said, "You see my name on Lehigh Valley Live?" And they said, "Not lately." I said, "Good." Because Lehigh Valley Live, you look at, is usually negative. I actually called them a few months back because of their negative things with Phillipsburg, and enough's enough. There's a lot of good things going on in southern Warren County, other than what may be going on in Phillipsburg, good, bad, or indifferent. So Mr. Novak said, "Well, that's a very enlightening type thing. If you ever need me, call you." I said, "I'm calling you now." And he never did a follow-up on it. So anyway, I'm sure if I get myself in trouble at some point, he'll be calling me. He'll certainly have my number. So that being said, like as always, to thank our volunteers, and we will work our way through the thing with the tax collector's office because we have to. So other than that, I don't have anything else. Actually, I do, but Mr. Pryor is going to cover a lot of the things with the roads. So at this point, I'll turn it over, or not Mr. Pryor, jeez, Mr. Sturbins. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Mayor. I wanted to update the council and the public on some of our projects. In the month of July, we completed some major road work here in the township. We had 5 roads in Norris Park that were improved, and we also completed the Baltimore Street Improvement Project, which were major achievements. And I want to thank the chief and the Public Works Department who really helped out during both of those projects. I really appreciated their contributions. Regarding Baltimore Street, I know we just made a final payment tonight, and it's my intention to close out that project with the Department of Transportation and get the rest of our grant money back. We've been given 75% of our grant money. We're still owed another $45,000, so I'm in the process of doing that. The DOT actually was notified we had completed the project, and I asked them to conduct a final inspection, and the only thing that came out of that final inspection today, they want 2 stop signs at the South First Street intersection raised where the sidewalk is, so that there's a 7-foot clearance, so that a tall person doesn't hit the bottom of the stop sign and hurt themselves. So I'll have more to report next month, but that's the goal, is to really push that along right now. Just on some of the other projects, the project to replace the flashing school speed limit signs on Strikers Road, and to also, in conjunction with that, construct new flashing school speed limit signs on Belvedere Road, and also establish a school zone on Belvedere Road. That project is going to get done here in the month of August. The Strikers Road portion of the work is going to be done on Friday. The chief and I are aware of that. The chief will have some officers out there providing traffic control on Friday. The Belvedere Road work will take place during the week of the 19th through the 23rd. There was a meeting before I went on vacation in July with the county to iron out what needs to be done while the construction's taking place. And there's a couple of insurance certificates that have to be provided to the county. They have an enhanced insurance certificate requirement that has to be addressed. The contractor needs to do a little bit more work in that regard, but assuming that's done in the next 2 weeks, they will be out in the field the week of the 19th through the 23rd, which is before school, and we will get those installations taking place on that road as well. And at that point, the county will do their work legally and get the school zone enacted through a resolution of the Freeholder Board. So that project is well, on its way to being done. I want to advise you and the public as to what we're doing there. Regarding the TAP project, which is a major sidewalk improvement project on Belvedere Road between the flashing signal at North First Street and Willow Avenue. Those plans were completed in July and submitted to the Department of Transportation. It's almost a 30-sheet set of plans, and we submitted also specifications and a number of other documents. So the department has those documents and is conducting a review at this point. It's going to take some time probably for that all to sort itself out, but we do have a little bit of time. The goal is to try to get all this done so that we'll be in position to move forward with the bidding process during the dead of winter, so that we get the best possible bid prices, and that this project is built early in 2020 at this point. My next goal in this project is to submit an application to the Warren County Engineer's Office, because Belvedere Road is a county road, so I do want to get that in and see if they have any comments. In fact, I know they'll have comments. It's just the way they are. They're very detailed and thorough, and we'll just try to get whatever comments come our way addressed at this point, so we can get the project authorized and out into the field next year. Any questions on that? The Sally Port project is well underway. I would estimate we're about 60% complete at this point. The goal is to bring those plans in and meet with Jason and with Beth, who we've been coordinating with on this work effort. And if any council members want to be present when we do that, to review the plans, make sure that there's a comfort level with them. And if there is, at that point, we would complete the work, create a bid document, and work with Beth to get that advertised for public bids. That would be a good winter project. So, but we're about 60% of the way along at this point. And just so you know, there is water draining from the parking lot into the Sally Port, so we are going to have to do some work in the parking lot at the entrance to the Sally Port from a drainage perspective, which will trigger some pavement restoration work and as part of this overall work effort at this point. So that's what's going on with that. Is there any questions?
I just wanted to, go ahead. I wanted to back up to the TAP project for a
Sure.
second. The construction phase, would we do that when school's out?
It could be bid that way.
Well, would it be preferable? I mean, do we want that all ripped up while kids are walking to school, or?
I would think so. Typically, projects that municipalities do around schools are handled during the time period where school is not in session. And that would be obviously the summer, and there's typically less vehicular traffic as well as pedestrian traffic.
Yeah, Greg's always been pretty good communicating with us. Maybe you could reach out to him and, communicate
Sure.
what the schedule is and
Sure.
get his input.
And that's something that can easily be added to the plans and the specifications for the project at this point. Continuing on, I just wanted to advise the council, I think it was on July 17th, there was a pre-construction meeting with the DOT on the Ingersoll Rand work. The DOT permits were bollock stuff for the longest period of time. In fact, and we're really concerned that they were not going to be able to get this work done in this construction season. So I know I had communications with the Commissioner's office, and I know the town of Phillipsburg was also having communications with the Commissioner's office, and it seemed to have worked out things, and they did issue all the permits. There was a pre-construction meeting, and you've seen that there's work taking place within Route 22 at this point. Hopefully in the next 3 months, we'll see a lot of the widening take place there and a lot of the signalization work. On site, there's been a tremendous amount of work done. There was a big paving effort over the last 2 weeks. There is a base pavement on the realignment of Lock Street at this point. So a lot of the on-site work is now done on site, and I would say we're probably on the downslope with a lot of the, I don't want to suggest it's complete, but we're probably on the downslope of a lot of the on-site work with respect to the warehouse construction in Lopatcong Township at this point. Any questions on that?
Just a comment. I guess somebody sent me something off the website. Is that on the DOT website? They have a pretty good description of the project.
We have an article on that today. As far as the
It didn't come from Lehigh, it came from DOT, Barbara Hurst, or,
Yeah, I sent that over to you.
yeah, did you send that? And where'd that come from, the DOT site?
Yeah, that comes to me.
Yeah, I'll just point out, if you go to the DOT site and you're curious what's involved in the project, there's a pretty good description on there. Describes the turning lanes and everything else. So if you need more information, that's a good source for now.
Great. Continuing on, one of the tasks that you had asked me to do was to look at the Plaza Road neighborhood. This is a neighborhood that has not been improved from a roadway perspective in a long time. There's 4 streets. You have Plaza Road, Plaza Place, James Avenue and Albert Avenue. So we had taken a detailed look, and again, thank you to Brian. Brian helped us out in some of that effort as well. And I had issued a report to the mayor on what our findings were. It's our opinion that both Plaza Road and Plaza Place are in very poor condition and should be reconstructed, very similar to what we did this past spring with Enmore Road and Oxford Road. I think that Albert and James are salvageable. I think there's been road work done on those 2 streets more recent, and I think we can probably do a mill and pave and do that through the cooperative. But the other 2 roadways, in my opinion, are in horrendous shape, particularly Plaza Place, which is the cul-de-sac road, and we really need to get some drainage construction done as part of that particular project. So if you were to follow what I had in my report to the mayor, I believe that the construction cost tag for that would be about $430,000. If we were to economize and just do a mill and pave on Plaza Road and just reconstruct Plaza Place, I think the cost would be about $350,000, and we would have to add soft costs to that. Soft costs are typically about 20% of the construction cost. So those are your costs for that particular area. But the 2 plazas are really in need of work, particularly Plaza Place. And I just wanted to go over what our findings were, and perhaps this is something we would include in our 2020 road program. And the next step would be, if you want to go in that direction, is to go out and do some surveying work and put together some plans at this point. And that would be for the 2 plazas. I don't think we would need plans for the Albert and James, because we would use the co-op for that work.
I was going to say, Paul, cul-de-sac and the low volume of traffic and so on, it wouldn't really be a good candidate for local aid, would it?
No.
No.
Yeah, unfortunately, we have to get to, you know, I don't want to say the little people, because, but we're talking about streets with not a lot of houses on them, but we've also done some big ones with Baltimore and Red School. We're going to do more, so we have to get to these areas. Dana Street over here, which is now done, Cromwell, which is now done. Those roads, I mean, the one gentleman last year told me his road hadn't been touched since he's been here. That was in 1972. So it's time. It's never going to be cheap. It's time to do it. I suggest that we do it right, so that we leave it better for the people that are following us down the road. It's a big nut. The roads are just it's enormous, but it's not going to stop. Just hold on a second, sir. So.
Yeah, continuing on, just on Red School Lane, before the July 19th deadline, I did file a grant application with the Department of Transportation to get further monies for Red School Lane. The main focus of those monies will be on the traffic signal at Baltimore Street and Red School Lane, because we found out that there's a number of deficiencies with that particular signal at this point, from a ADA perspective and also a manual uniform traffic control perspective. So the signal is 17, 18 years old right now. There's been a lot of changes with the manual at this point, and it really needs to be updated in many regards. We had issued a memo earlier this year on that. So I think it's a strong application, and I'm optimistic that we're gonna get funded. The DOT is already reviewing those applications, and the goal of them shifting the program up 3 months was to try to get action taken on the applications before the end of the calendar year, so that municipalities would be able to do planning, the beginning of the following calendar year. Right? They've always done it in an awkward manner, and these awards were being announced in the middle of the year, and it made it difficult for municipalities to even budget for these projects, and it would end up falling to the next calendar year. So I think it's a strong contender, and I believe that we will get funded. It's a prediction on my part, because it is a strong contender.
Is that it?
Just two or three things real fast. I know I'm taking a lot of meeting time. Just on Red School Lane, there's two aspects of that project. We're going to be putting out the bid next week, the drainage and the sanitary sewer improvements, and this is going to be between Baltimore Street and Charles Road. We need to get that work done before we get the road work done, so that's going to be publicly bid. And then concurrent with that, we're going to be finishing the roadway plans and getting into the DOT, because we have DOT funding for that 3,600 linear foot stretch of Red School Lane. So we'll be getting that into them, hopefully to get their approval for that road work, so we can put in a position to get improved this fall through the co-op. So that's our goal there. So I will report at the next meeting. And just lastly, probably one of the final pieces of the Morris Heights neighborhood that hasn't been done yet is the stretch of South Fifth Street between Route 22 and Baltimore Street. We have surveyed that street. We are coming up with a curb design for that street. There are some major issues with drainage on the west side of the road there. So we're hoping to put together a curb design that will alleviate that, but also do it in a manner that doesn't require a lot of roadway reconstruction that would, obviate the ability of us to use the co-op contractor and require us to go out to public bid instead. So that's the challenge now. We should have more to report at the next meeting on that work effort.
Okay.
Thank you very much.
Just very quickly, the 3,600 feet on Red School Lane will take us from Charles Road. How far down?
200 feet north of Baltimore Street.
Okay, so you're basically beyond the last driveway into Brinkley Gardens?
It's going to end right at the new driveway that was built as part of the Coordinated Health Project.
Okay.
The new building. We wanted to keep it clear of any of the signalization improvements, because of the need to make those improvements.
And the rest of the Red School Lane, from there all the way down to 57?
Would be done in the lake.
That will be done as part of the signalization work next year. Yes.
Okay, so that's the last section of it.
That's going to be it.
All the way down to 57, correct?
Correct. And that will tee into the Avenue A work, and there's a short piece of Baltimore Street, again, that we didn't do because of the signalization work that we need to do, and that will key into that work that we just did as well.
Okay. That's it.
Thank you.
Chief, you want to give me a report?
Yes, sir.
And by the way, I'd like to piggyback on what Joe read earlier. Most of you know that I'm the Director of Facilities for the Phillipsburg School District, and I see our police in action every day. For the naysayers that 79 High School opened up, that the intersection was going to be a mess, I don't believe there's been one student-related accident there at that intersection, and we're now 3 school years in. So to the naysayers, I hope you're man enough to admit that you were wrong, because we really have done a fabulous job up there. Our police department is really, we had actually talked about annexing that property at one point to Phillipsburg, because they already had the high school and they knew what they were doing as far as handling it. The people in Delaware Park went crazy, thinking we were cutting them off from the rest of the township, so it turned out to be the right thing, and so kudos to you and your crew.
Thank you, and thank you for all your support. We really appreciate it. So recently it was brought to my attention there was some safety concerns at a couple of our intersections. So I did have, over the past couple of weeks, have an opportunity to look at those intersections, namely Baltimore Street and Strikers. It was said to have a view obstruction as you were traveling off of Baltimore Street and either north or south onto Strikers Road. While taking a look, there was brush or trees that are overgrown and obstructing views to your north. And I've been working together with Larkin to make sure that's taken care of. There have been more than cooperative in accommodating that, and actually the work should be taking place tomorrow to trim back those trees and make sure that we can do.
They sprayed some stuff too, didn't they?
I'm not sure if they sprayed anything.
Somebody sprayed something out there, so.
But I know they said tomorrow they should be out there trimming the trees back, and I'm going to try to make an effort to make sure I'm available to make sure that this clears up our view obstruction that we're seeing to our north side. And then we go up to Baltimore, Strikers, and Powderhorn, and we had a similar type problem with shrubs and trees. And again, the property owner was contacted by myself. He was more than cooperative and went out that day and took care of the issues that were there. There is one other issue that might be compounding the view obstruction, which Strikers Road goes from a 25-foot to a 30-foot roadway width. So there's about a 5-foot offset from the first property on Strikers Road at the corner of Powderhorn. So it makes it a little bit difficult to see. So you do have to nose out a little bit and take a good look. There's also a pedestrian crosswalk there. So there's a lot going on there. We typically have those positions manned at our highest traffic points with school in session. We have a traffic crossing guard there. So, but I think the main issue was the brush, which was taken care of. It was removed. And the last concern was over on Plaza and James regarding a stop sign. I think Paul mentioned it before that this area hasn't been improved in quite some time. There's couple developments that have gone in since, so there's an uptick in traffic there, although I can't recall any motor vehicle accidents there in recent years or days, but there's a lot more traffic coming in through there. So there's not a stop sign at that intersection at Plaza and James. So if you travel, I guess it would be west of Plaza, you have about 15 residents which go up to dead ends. So there's potential for a collision of any one of those residents coming down James with vehicles coming out of Plaza and making their left-hand turns there. So like I said, there hasn't been any recent activity there, but I don't think that we need to wait for a motor vehicle accident to take action on it. I think there probably
I
should be
agree.
a stop sign.
You have an intersection like that, it's almost a no-brainer to put a stop sign in, I think. Paul, do we need approval from anybody to do that?
I'm just looking to see if Plaza Road is deemed to be a through road or James, one of the roads is a through road, because then you can automatically put a stop sign on the intersecting street. So I'm just going to look at that right now.
And that's the end of my report. Other than that, I certainly appreciate the community support, your support at National Night Out last night. It was a great success.
It was.
And, you know, it wouldn't be possible without the cooperation of the local businesses, the community at large, and all the volunteers that showed up and took part of it. So I appreciate everybody's help.
It was a good time.
Thank you for organizing it.
Thank you.
Okay. Motion to approve department reports?
Motion.
Second?
Second.
All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Payment of bills?
I did have one question. One again, there's a small bill on there from JMT, and my vote would not apply to that. Kim isn't here, but there was a bill on there for Stag GI of New Jersey. They're the landlords for...
Oh, I can answer that
Barry?
one. That was at my request. That is a tax refund for an overpayment due to an error in the tax office.
You know, I assume that the size of it jumped out at me.
Yeah, I warned everyone last month that I knew about it, and I had Kim put it right on the bill list right away, but that's an error, and we are going to seek reimbursement from the insurance company for that.
Okay, good, thank you.
Need a motion? Payment of bills?
Motion.
Second.
Councilman Beltrán?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Pryor?
Yes.
Mayor Menucha?
Yes. Folks, questions, comments? This gentleman right here in the front had a question?
Jackson from Plaza Road.
Okay.
When you were mentioning about the drainage up there, I lived there for some 45 some years, and what typically happens is all the water from James comes down, then instead of going down straight down James, it goes off into Plaza. And right there between the corner of Plaza and James, it just lays there like a lake.
Yep.
And when it happens, the freeze comes and it just rips up the road. So I'd be proposing putting some kind of drainage that area in Plaza Place, because it's just a lake from James to Plaza Place.
I have pictures that I probably took a month and a half ago. You're absolutely correct.
And just, this is, I took some pictures.
Yep.
This is the intersection of, let me see, of James and
James and Plaza is what we're looking at here.
Plaza. Yeah, and there's another, actually, picture of it. And there's been, to me, I live right 2 houses down. There's a lot of close calls. I do it all the time. They don't stop. I'm coming up one, James, and they're just coming back down the other side.
Mayor, James is not indicated to be a through street, and in addition to that, there's nothing in the ordinance that allows for a stop sign at James and Plaza right now, so we really should do an ordinance amendment. So if the council's amenable, I can have a draft ordinance. Actually, maybe we can introduce something tonight, and then we can put the actual written language together to have it on the agenda for next meeting.
Which street does it go on?
It would go on Plaza. The stop sign would be on Plaza.
They put that new development in, I forget the name of it.
Copperfields.
Yeah.
And everybody uses Plaza as the exit, although it's closer for them to get down to the lower end towards Warren Fairgrounds. Everybody uses Plaza at this end. So there's just a lot of traffic anymore.
We're well aware of your situation out there. We've looked at it now for probably a year. So as you see Paul come up with a number tonight for that area. So
Well, here's that Baltimore exit that we were talking about before about the trees and shrubbery.
Yep.
I took that picture with the front of my car on that crosswalk. And what happens there is if I have to see traffic coming down,
Right.
my nose of the car is actually in
In the lane?
straight in Stryker Road. So when you're coming down, like I do right now, I always used to complain that the cars, they're just, no stop sign.
Yeah.
You have to come out that far just to see.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, and
I'm sorry.
the other, The other thing I have is snow removal. This picture will hopefully show some of it. All the driveways on Plaza Road at the top end are all on my side. There's none on the other side. Guess where all the snow gets dumped?
Your side.
Your side.
Are there mailboxes on the other side?
Yes. There's a mailbox on that side, and there's mailboxes on our side.
Yeah, you wind up with no mail delivery till they get dug out, so.
Well, but they all, see, when you say that, that's another reason to pile the snow on the other side, because there's only one mailbox on the other side. All the rest of the mailboxes are on my side. And that's where the driveways
Do you
are.
mind if I bring up our Public Works manager here?
No.
Brian, you want to comment on this?
Now we're supposed to discuss.
I do understand why you want the road, plowed to the other side, but here's my issue with it. Down the road further are sidewalks on both sides. Now I'm burying people. If I put it all to one side, I'm burying them. But here's the main issue. The way we plow now is we come up the middle of the road, okay, and I plow and I push the snow towards the one side of the curb. Turn around and come by out on the other side of the road and push that way. What you've done is you've given it a traffic pattern, a legal traffic pattern for people to get home, all right? I make like probably 5 swipes on that road, okay, before it's actually opened up. So if I took it from all one side, and while I'm up at the other end of the road and a car comes in and they get hit, who's responsible? Where do we go with this? So that's why through the whole entire town, we plow each road side as the traffic flows. All right, so you're moving it out. The public has a safe route to get home. That's the purpose of us plowing, to get everybody off the road.
I disagree with the way you're doing it, because the way that they plow the plaza is they come up from the lower end and then they take a swipe up plaza, right up the middle, okay?
Right.
Then they turn around, okay, and take all the stuff from the other side and push all that.
Well, I will promise you this much, that is not supposed to be happening, and that won't be happening.
Because that's,
Okay? You split that snow evenly.
no.
It's
I tell you right now, because I do it all the time, I get my snow blower out.
Right.
And everybody on my side of the street, unfortunately, is older,
Right.
okay?
Right.
There's nobody on the other side.
Well, I can't treat age as any difference.
Well, I understand that.
You know?
But as far as the sidewalk goes, there's no sidewalks on the section of plaza that we live on.
Right.
Neither side. There is sidewalks on the other side,
Down further.
but down further by plaza, only on the right side is going down. There's none on the left.
When you get down, further.
When you get
All
down.
right, so what do I change directions here? or-
No, you don't have to do that. But I'm just saying, because on both sides, on the lower section down there, they got driveways on both sides.
All I'm saying to you is, I need to keep traffic flowing. If that's not happening in that direction, I will address that issue. Okay? They plow one side of the road, and they give that direction the right to go home. Okay? They come up the other side, and they give that direction of traffic the right to get home. Now, I'm gonna put it in a perspective of a little bit of a block. My plow's 10 feet wide, the road's
Okay.
30 feet wide, okay? If I take a 1-foot block on 10 feet, okay, that's 10 feet tall here, times 30, all right? So I've got a heck of a lot of snow sitting over there. I don't know what they do, but I don't believe that's happening, because I would have had so many complaints, the mailboxes would have been buried by height. So, and I'm not saying you're not there, what I'm saying to you is, I will keep an eye on that, but the road needs to be plowed to get everybody home safely.
I understand what you're saying about getting home safely.
Right.
But all those mailboxes you're talking about, that's my side, and that's where all the plows are.
Well,
And that's where the
there's-
snow goes. There's nothing on the other side.
I don't believe they plow, and I'm gonna say it just like that, I don't believe they plow all the snow directly to your side, and if they are, I will address that issue, it won't be happening.
I'll tell you
But-
what.
But it doesn't matter what the past is, it matters the future, all right? There's a safety purpose And I keep coming back to that. There's a safety purpose of why you plow in a certain direction. And it's not about the homeowner, and it's not about the homeowner on this side. It's about the vehicle on the road. That's why I'm removing the snow, so they can get home, they can get places. I can't make a pass down this road here and expect the car to come here, and then I'm sidewinding him as he's coming up. It's a flow of traffic is what goes on.
I agree, I
So-
understand what you're saying.
That's where I'm
But
at.
if you take a look at that picture that I just gave you, okay, as far as that flow of traffic on there, all right, you'll see over here, all the driveways, you'll see there's nothing over here, no mailboxes.
You know, I don't mean to cut anybody off, but I don't know if we're gonna solve this. I look at Brakely, you got all the homes on one side.
Right.
You don't skew that
No, everybody gets
plowing.
their half.
And I follow what Brian's saying. All I can promise is as the winter comes, Brian will keep an eye on that, we'll revisit it, but we're not, I don't want to try and
Well, I understand
solve
that.
it tonight.
I'm just-
We're aware of the problem, all right?
And I will address that.
And every other thing you brought up, we've addressed tonight, so he's got it on his list, all right?
Okay, good enough.
What about the stop sign? Can we do something about that to get that moving?
Yeah, we can
Before
do
we
a
get
first
somebody-
reading tonight, right?
Yeah, so it would be to create a stop intersection at the intersection of Plaza Road and James Avenue, and the stop sign would be on the right side on Plaza Road.
Make that motion based on Paul's recommendation.
And it's ordinance 19-14, right?
Who seconded it?
Right, Beth, 19-14?
Councilman Valcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Polito?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Council President Cryder?
Yes.
Mayor Mendez?
Yes.
And that's a first reading, there'll be a hearing.
Public hearing next
Next
month.
meeting.
Yep. Anyone else? Questions, comments? Sir? And if that's your son, he's to be commended for sitting here this whole time.
3 years old.
God bless him.
Some ice cream or something. My name's Barry Dampier, excuse me, and this is my son Colton. We live at 36 Buckley Hill Drive, and last week we received a notice from the zoning officer. We have 2 chickens on our property, 2 hens. We've had them for 3 years. Excuse me. The notice says that we're in violations for 243-66B subsection 5, which reading that violation, it states that it has to be, it references a farm, 10 acres or more for the gain of raising agricultural products, livestock, and poultry. My concern is nowhere in any of the ordinances does it say you're not allowed to have poultry on your property. It's not specifically defined. I pulled state law where they actually separate poultry and livestock as well for the purpose of farming and slaughter. So that's the main concern that we bring up. So the other part of the ordinance, as far as the structure, it's a small chicken coop. It's only 6 feet long, 3 feet wide. Again, these chickens have been here for 3 years. They're as old as he is. So our concern is, excuse me, is the ordinance doesn't seem to fit our situation. So I wanted to bring it to the attention because of the council, because there's other people that live in the town that have chickens. So there's a lot of people that have them. And one of the points that was brought up, and Mr. Rossi was a very polite gentleman, and he said that he was willing to work with me until we get it resolved, or at least bring it to the council's attention. The point that was brought up on the complaint was that there's a rat infestation. Now, I will tell you, if there were rats, I would be the first one to know about them. I clean that coop twice a week. There's no droppings. We have pest control that comes every 90 days that, you know, for routine maintenance for our house. So there's no sanitary or health issues with the chickens being on property. When they do roam free on the property, I have an 8 by 10 foot PVC cage that they stay in, and we just move that about the yard. And sometimes they roam free to go from there back to their coop. I don't have roosters. They're not crowing. So it's clearly somebody that either doesn't have chickens, doesn't understand it, or doesn't understand, like, you know, how chickens can be pets. 30 years ago, if I had 30 chickens on my property and I was selling eggs out front, I get it. But it's 2019. This kid would go nuts if the chickens were gone.
They are our babies.
So just
You said you have two?
two hens.
Pepper in there. I don't have the section.
Yeah, so I mean, again, and I can, you have it, but this chapter 3 that I pulled up online, it's all about livestock and poultry. I'll leave it here because I have it at home, and then just the 2 ordinances I made copies of. Nothing specifically defines livestock from poultry. I'm sorry, it specifically defines poultry as livestock. They're separate, and everything you see, either state law or anything within the town ordinances.
Yeah, so. I've been sitting up here 17 years, this is a new one.
I'd rather do this than have him not behave the way he did for the last hour and a half.
Yeah, yes, he was excellent.
Sorry, I was wrong.
That's all right, he didn't have to worry, he was excellent. So, I want the attorney to look into it and
Awesome.
give you some sort of.
Awesome.
Thank you, we really appreciate it.
Mr. Rossi has your contact information?
Yes, yeah. So when I spoke with him, he said just to follow back up with him, the notice to abate was the 27th of August. So I told him when I was done, I would report back to him. He said he was not going to take any action as long as we're working on it. So, thank you.
Thank you so much.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you, John.
Once again, I'm John Betts from Brakely Gardens over on Red School Lane. I'd just like to make one kind of a statement that we should be continuously showing vigilance to the pressing, burgeoning, continued need for affordable housing in all areas in our state and in our area. And I noticed that you had something with Sycamore Landing, an affordable housing agreement. I know you can't talk about it because it's in executive session, but I just want to bring that up because that is something that is constantly rising, the need for the affordable housing. And the only other thing is I was going to ask about Red School Lane, and Paul answered that question already. And then there was the only other question I have is, what is Resolution 25? What does the SWMA stand for? I'm sorry, I don't know.
That's one of the municipal.
Alliance.
And,
And that's administered through the county, and we get a grant for our recreation program.
Okay.
And our oxygen,
all right, I get it now. All right, thank you. So, and just one last thing. As far as the taxes on our landlord, I want to thank council or whoever figures out what the tax rates are and all that for continuing kind of almost flatlining his taxes. That's a very good thing. That's a very good thing. So, okay, thank you.
Prudent on the school board, the county, and us.
Yeah.
It's a cooperative effort.
That's good, thank you. Thank them all, too.
Yep.
Okay. Have a good evening.
Anybody else, questions, comments? Lori.
All right, for recreation, just to let you know, we moved tonight's band to tomorrow night. We did that on Tuesday because I knew the rain was going to be bad. I have a couple others that got rescheduled because of rain. Right now, we're scheduled until 9/11. And I think that's about it. Between the grant money and the money that you guys budgeted, we've used almost all of it. Some of that goes towards Community Day as well, the music there, which I have 3 bands for Community Day. The one in the evening is the Billy Joel tribute band, so they're playing. They start at 7.
I'm sorry, what tribute?
Billy Joel.
Very good.
Yeah. We got 2. I'm trying to get one more in the middle, or I might extend some of them out. We contracted with the video game truck, which is very exciting. At the LAA meeting, when the parents was like, whoa, for themselves. We also have a balloon artist and a caricature artist who's going to come, and we pay them, and then they do all that stuff for free. We tried to get a petting zoo, but it was too late. We are looking to get some people to do food at night. So far, the Brass Rail is going to come and sell some stuff. I think I might have an ice cream truck coming that night, because what we're trying to do is have from 2 to 6, we've got the rides, we've got more than we've had before. And then we've got the video game truck from 4 to 6, the balloon artist and characters from 2 to 4. So keeping the kids busy the whole time with music. And then when we go into the evening and we'll have the better band, I'm looking to see if we can do, sell some beer too, so I'll get that together. Plus we got the food. And as of today, let's see, I had over $2,000 already in the account from donations, and I have another $6,500 pledged for fireworks as of today. And Katrina knows.
Was that Council President Pryor?
No.
Yeah, buddy.
Somebody was making a lot of phone calls on my behalf today. So, yeah. So, as Katrina knows.
I was wondering how quickly we could get what you just described, the schedule and the timing up on the website?
We can do that. I just have to, I'm trying to talk to one more person about music, and if not, I'm going to stretch everybody out so we can get that out by the end of the week.
To be announced or
Yeah.
something, just trying to get interest.
I was also thinking of buying a couple little lawn signs to put around town to remind people that it's Community Day, like the small ones. So I'll price some of those out. But I was thinking, because I know I already have over 2,000, and I can count on most of this money, especially since you know about it, so then it'll happen. So I wasn't sure how much you wanted me to contract with the fireworks, because I will need to do that. We'll need to make a motion for you guys to approve that we enter into a
I thought we
contract
had a
with
pretty
them.
good show last year. Remember what you spent?
No, last year was about 4,000, but like I'd probably like to do at least 6,500, since the people who donated today think their money's going directly to fireworks.
Okay. Is it a different pricing category? Depends how much you spend, what kind of show you get?
Well, yeah, you get bigger shells. The more money you spend, the bigger the shells are.
Okay, so there's different levels,
Yeah.
starting and then,
They don't recommend doing anything lower than 3,500 because it's very minimal. We did that the first year when we started doing them again, then we got up to 4, and I think they threw in a couple extra last year. But once you get like over 5, the shells start to get bigger, so the fireworks themselves are nicer.
okay, so it's for 65. you should get-
Yeah, we should definitely get a good amount. And if I do get any other big donations that wish to go to fireworks, I'll let you know, because I think we could always just, as long as it's within a couple of weeks, they can definitely add on to that. But I would just need you to make a motion that we usually use Garden State.
Okay. I'll make that motion.
Well, what motion are you making?
That we use Garden State.
Garden State.
Pardon me?
That we use Garden State fireworks.
Yeah, okay, that's all right.
Second.
Councilman Valcarro?
Yes.
Councilman Toledo?
Yes.
Councilman Wright?
Yes.
Councilman
Yes.
Yes.
And then with the movies at the pool, and this is kind of a question for Beth too, I've canceled 3 because of rain. So I've rescheduled 2. If I reschedule this one for the last week, we're getting close to the end of August. I don't know if I should double up or just send it back and get a credit for next year.
Right, correct.
Yeah,
Yeah,
because we were
I
getting too
think so,
late.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay,
We have
late.
2 more.
Big one.
And like I said, we have bands going to 9/11 right now. So, and that schedule is up on the website. I changed
I
that.
think the yard signs are a good idea too for Community Day.
Okay.
Feel
We'll do
free to
some
put
of
one in
those.
my yard,
Okay, good.
where the sidewalk goes through and I don't have any room for it.
Yeah, I know.
On movie night, you show one movie?
One movie, yes.
I was thinking maybe a double feature.
Yeah, I know. We'd be there till like midnight.
I don't know if the parents want to.
Yeah, I don't know if they want to sit there that long.
Can we
It's a good
go
flick.
back to the fireworks a little?
Sure.
How much do you have in hand right now?
I'm gonna say either 2,300 or 2,500 is already deposited in the bank.
I'm sure we can pass the hat among council here and raise something.
I got somewhere to go.
Well, I do have another $6,500 coming in.
How much?
I have another $6,500.
You're there already?
Yeah, I'm there already.
Oh, okay.
We all got called today.
Call me when you need me for something else.
Oh, don't worry, I will.
All right.
Yeah, but thank you.
What else?
That's
it. So I will get that all together so we can get there. I'm looking forward to being like a really good night. We shortened it a little.
Yeah, sounds great.
Yeah, so it'll kind of
Sounds
be
great.
two pieces. You
Got
can
a good
take a
band
break. Yeah, it'll be a really good
Good.
band. I think they're going to bring out some good people.
Thank you
so.
What were the other,
We have Leah Foles. She's starting it off. I have.
the lady that has been with us before?
Yeah, mhm.
She's very good.
Yeah, she's very, very good. Jesse Rivera, he's very entertaining.
Jesse's kind of a fixture.
Yeah, I have one more person I'm trying to see if I can fit in because they wanted to play with us. And then we've got, we may be right, the Billy Joel
Joel.
tribute band. Yeah.
That's excellent. Thank you very much for your...
Thank you.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Anyone else? Question, comments?
I forgot one thing.
Sure.
Since Plaza Road is going to be resurfaced,
At some point, yes.
what chances of having sewage put in? Right now, we don't have any sewers, we're still on septics, and I know that it ends right down, I think, by Meadowview or something. And with all the houses, I was just wondering if the possibility of
That's kind of your
sewers.
wheelhouse.
Yeah, that would take some heavy thought on our part because we have not funded a sewer extension for individuals since 1967. We started the system. Everything we've done since then has been funded by developers. We've had other requests for sewers. There's also a question about the sewer service area. You ever hear of a wastewater management plan? It's a planning tool. It's uncertain whether you're even in there. So those are some issues that we'll have to face, and we'll discuss them before we go ahead with paving, but I can't make a promise right now.
It would be nice.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's others who have requested it too, and
I mean, since you're having a
it's
road
a
up.
policy thing. We'll have to have some discussion, all right?
Okay, and yeah, the last thing is this the right place to have street signs changed, or the name of the streets changed? Because I live on Plaza Road, and the next is Plaza Place, and I can't tell you how much.
Confusion?
Yeah, I even had, the last time, was it last week, I had a bank appraiser come at my house. Then I had
You didn't know you were moving, huh?
I even had a funeral director come at my place. So, no, we get lots of stuff.
Plaza Road, Plaza Place.
You're right next to each other.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. And we constantly exchange packages, UPS,
I know.
FedEx.
Okay.
That's it.
Thank you.
All right, sir, thank you. Anyone else? Questions, comments? Again, welcome to our new superintendent. Use us for what you need us for. We're here for you and the kids. So, seeing none, motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Folks, thanks for coming out.